Hello, brains. And your paint job does not have to be perfect. This is something I learned from Cass from Clutterbug. Don't have to do it perfectly. Definitely not the first time. Yeah. Hi. Okay, cool. Yes, how to ADHD in the chat right now is our lovely our lovely community manager Harley. So yeah, I have some help on this live stream. This is my first live stream. Hello, publicly in years, and I'm pretty nervous. Basically, we got a new toy, and it's called an ATEM, and it makes it so that we can do live streamy things like have multiple cameras, and I think that's it, right? We can have multiple cameras and switch them easily. We're gonna maybe make it so that I can switch angles, but right now we have our new producer Kai in the studio, and he's gonna be able to move the cameras around, switch angles, switch between cameras, do all kinds of fun stuff. So really this live stream today is just about reconnecting with you, reconnecting with the community, because I haven't done a live stream in so long, and also just getting a sense of like what we might want to do if we do live streams on more of a regular basis moving forward. So this is just a test live stream. Thank you so much for coming and helping out with it. Yeah, we've got some cool ideas, but basically all we know so far for sure is we want multiple camera angles. We want to make this connection first, education and entertainment second, because we do a lot of educating and entertaining with our videos, hopefully. But keep it fun and ADHD coded, and just kind of relaxed. It's a lot of the content that we do, it feels like there's a lot of pressure on it to get it right, because I want to educate people and make sure that I'm giving good information and that everything's, there's not errors in the content we put out. So I'm gonna allow myself to make mistakes on these live streams. I'm just putting that out there. It's gonna be good exposure for me. So hello. Is this different from yesterday? Yeah. So yesterday I did a test live stream with just our Patreon brains to try and get some ideas of like what we might want to try today. That was a very small, very private live stream for our Patreon supporters. This is for everybody. So this is the first time we're trying it publicly, but I still am considering it a test, mostly to take a little bit of the pressure off of myself. But we're going to try a little bit more today. So I think Kai, we figured out how to do green screen too, right? We can sort of. We might be able to do green screen stuff in the background.
Chloe Cam is live.
The Chloe Cam is live. To the Chloe Cam. Chloe Cam. That's cool. Thank you. Testing what? I love science. Oh yeah, just testing the live stream. Playing with the new equipment. Yay! Someone says, I've got your book. I still need to read through it. Yeah, good news. You don't have to read the whole thing. Just seriously, you could just flip through the chapters and like look at the headlines and see if there's anything that that strikes your fancy. It was designed to be read out of order if you want. Just flip to the chapter that interests you, that's something that maybe you're struggling with, and then see if you want to learn anything. You definitely don't have to read it all the way through. The audiobook. Yeah, I read the audiobook. So yeah, if anybody wants an audiobook version, I did read that, and they made me slow down because I speak so quickly. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. If people don't have the animations or any visuals to go with it, it makes sense that I speak a little bit more slowly. You read the book in 4 days? Hi from Austria. Cool. Yeah, where is everybody from? Thank you. Aw. This is really cool for me, because the last time I did a public live stream, I had not written a book. I had not even started writing a book. So yeah, I forgot that would be a part of it. Hi. Netherlands, Philippines, Pittsburgh, Spain, Victoria, BC, California. If I have your book, do I need to buy the audiobook? Only if you want the audiobook. It's the same exact thing. It's just I read it instead. Middle of nowhere, West Virginia. North California, Canada, Philly, Ontario, New Hampshire, Kazakhstan? How cool. Maryland, Toronto, Houston, Maryland, Missouri, South Africa, Albany, Costa Rica, Scotland, cool. I have a friend who's moving to Scotland. She actually used to help out on the channel, and now she's going to be moving to Scotland. This is cool. Olympia. Hello, neighbor. That was very close. I was in Olympia recently. Bought your bought your book when it came out and asked me if I've read it yet. So what I'm hearing is I should go get my book and read it to you guys. All right, so all right, cool. So let me tell you about the setup right now, and kind of give you some parameters as to what we can do. So we have we now have 3 cameras. This is getting exciting. So we have 3 different cameras. One is currently the Chloe cam, one's on me, the other one is who knows. I have a it's called a monitor. That's what it is. I have a monitor in front of me so I can see the comments on one side, and on the other side I'm seeing a Google Doc that our mods are pulling some questions into and comments that they want to make sure that I see, so that I can respond to those. So I'll probably split time between looking at the questions that the mods pull over for me to respond to, as well as the just the live chat. And then I was thinking that for these live streams, I could also do segments to give them like a little bit of a structure, to where maybe I could set a timer for 15 minutes, and when the timer goes off, I do a segment like toolbox, tool of the day, or that's as far as I've gotten. So probably when I start a live stream, I'll be like, okay, so this is the live stream. This is what it is. This is what you can expect. And what segments should we do today? And let people suggest some things, and then write them on my whiteboard, which, can the third camera see the whiteboard? Maybe I wrote segments. So if people have ideas for like things that I should do on live stream, it could be a segment of like, I'm going to read a piece of the book, or I'm going to share a tool of the day, or I'm going to attempt to juggle. I don't know. Just something to break it up. And also so that we know that like once I get through all the segments, the live stream's done, so that people have a sense of like where we're at. So let me see. How goes the Trying Different Hobby series? Eagerly waiting for the next episode. It's going well. So the next episode we're shooting, we already picked the hobbies, and then we're going to go shoot those this week. So I won't spoil it and tell you what hobbies got picked out of the bowl, but I will show you the bowl. That could be a segment, like adding hobbies to the bowl. So this is my, if anybody hasn't seen the Trying Different series, Trying Different Hobbies. Yes, the Jessica Needs a Hobby, that's what it's called. The idea is I want to just try out different hobbies. Basically anything the community suggests goes in a bowl, and then I pick the hobbies and I try those hobbies. And I'm trying to find a new hobby that I really love. And so I'm putting it through a series of tests and trying to narrow down the hobbies. Basically doing single elimination tournament style, like which hobby wins, because I have lots of hobbies, but as a result of having lots of hobbies, I don't stick to any of them, which is fine. Cycling through hobbies is fine, but also like when I have time to do a hobby, I don't even know what to do. So I'm like, I want to find a hobby that like I really love, that I'm, instead of just like, ooh, everything that I enjoy doing, I'm going to do all of those things. What if I narrow it down to something that I truly, truly enjoy more than sitting on the couch and watching Netflix, so that I actually do it. Building a model airplane, adding hobbies into the bowl does sound like a fun time. All right, you know what? That's gonna be a segment. We're gonna write that on the whiteboard as a segment. Let's see if we can see the whiteboard. I need to move the whiteboard, is what I'm hearing. Segments. Can you see the whiteboard? Okay. Segments. Okay, so we'll do, yeah, suggest some segments. We'll try it out. So one is, actually, yeah, all right. So I'll write the segments. We don't necessarily have to go in order. We can do a spinny thing, or I don't know, we can go in order today. So add hobbies to the hobby bowl. All right. Let's see. Different colors to make it easier to read. Oh, camera is flickering.
Bad cable. Cable's gone. New cable.
Oh, new cable. Okay, cool. Let's see. Tool of the day. Tool of the day is going to be a segment. Tool of the day. else do we have? Broken cable. Suggesting segments. I absolutely recommend grapefruit. Urge surfing. Ooh, what's urge surfing? Oh, today I learned. I like that. Today I learned. Today I learned. Naturally, each segment will need its own theme song. Input for new book. I like that. Okay. Input for new book. This wasn't the plan. Navigating big transitions with an ADHD brain. Okay, I see another one that's cute creature break. I'm doing absolutely nothing. Okay. Being bored and being okay with it. All right. Meditation segment. Okay. I'm going to combine those. I'm going to be like, this is our doing nothing / meditation segment. All right. So I think in the future we might do 8, but let's try 6 today and see how that goes. This is cool though. I like the idea of the different segments. Okay. Roll that back over there. Are you still able to see that if I roll it out of the way?
I can have it on a camera.
Yeah, on a cam so that people can go to the, or we can go to the segments cam. Chloe looks concerned. All right, Chloe cam. Wait, hang on. Puppy. Can Chloe cam stay up like an overlay later? I don't know. Hello. This is cool. All right. Oh, someone asked, how do you find that OCD and ADHD overlap? That's okay. So that's a really interesting question. That's probably something I should do some research on and include in a video. However, just anecdotally, I was diagnosed with mild OCD in high school, and I also obviously have ADHD. For those of you who didn't realize that, and it's an interesting combination for me. But I feel like for me, so. Other mental health conditions, coexisting mental health conditions, can either be a primary condition, meaning you would have had it even without the ADHD, or it can be a secondary condition, meaning it kind of stemmed from your experience of having ADHD. So, who knows? But I feel like the OCD, the like double checking everything, kind of comes from the careless mistakes that is part of the diagnostic criteria for ADHD for me personally. And it sometimes counters it, and sometimes, like any sort of anxiety, it feels like it counters it, but it's not as productive as it thinks it is, if that makes sense. But I think that it's a really interesting topic, and it's something that I would like to pull research studies on. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it to the my notes here. OCD and ADHD episode? Question mark, question mark. Hi, didn't know you did live streams. I didn't either. I missed the community. I wrote a book. I had a baby. I have been busy being a new mom, and I just miss you all. I miss connecting with this community. And while I get to read a lot of comments, especially on the days that we post new videos, I read all the comments and see them come in and rescue anything that gets like held for review. I miss the like live connection. So the live streams are a way for me to reconnect with you all, and also just I don't know, see what everybody needs now. I feel like I kind of went away for a while, and now I'm back, and I'm like, wait, the whole world's changed. What people know about ADHD has changed. Technology has changed. So much has changed that I'm like, okay, let me reconnect and see what's needed now, because what was needed in terms of disseminating information about ADHD when I started is very different, I think, from what's needed now. So that's another thing too. Cool. All right, so aren't you afraid of YouTube comments, or is your community so much more wholesome? This community is really wholesome. Really, really wholesome. I will say that. And I've basically from the beginning treated my channel like it's a classroom, and if I wouldn't allow it in my classroom, I don't allow it in the comments. So people can disagree with me, we can have a healthy discourse, but as soon as somebody's just being a bully, if they're bullying other people in the community or if they're bullying me, delete. Like I just don't let those comments through, because that's not productive. We're here to learn about how our brains work, and if people are commenting things that get in the way of that, then that's not appropriate for our classroom. And so we also have really good mods that are helping with live streams, right? So like we have a filter on the YouTube channel where like if people are using bad words or saying things like ADHD doesn't exist, like those get filtered through. And then if somebody's actually having a productive conversation, we can let those comments back through. But if they're just being a jerk, they just don't show up on the channel, which is really helpful, because then people see that this is the kind of community we have. This is the kind of comments that are allowed on the channel and that are responded to on the channel. And then that kind of naturally, people see that, oh, this is the culture here. And so then they kind of follow along with that. Usually, sometimes people are having a bad day and are impulsive about it. But even that, like, I had somebody comment something like really horrible once about like ADHD doesn't exist and you're stupid and you don't have ADHD. Like he was just ranting. And I have a strict policy that I don't feed the trolls. Partly because like that's not what I want to encourage. Like anything you respond to as a YouTuber or a streamer or whatever, like that gets responded to, that gets attention, like that gets rewarded in a sense. So I just don't respond. So I just didn't respond. And then the same guy, it was really cool. The same guy came back years later and he's like, hey, I'm sorry for all the things that I said. It turns out like I had been diagnosed with ADHD and I wasn't ready to accept it yet. So I'm very much a believer of like respond to the behavior, not the person. Like it is the behavior, not the person. The same person can be like perfectly lovely one day and like not the next day. So I don't know, for what that's worth. But live stream is a whole different thing, right? Because like comments are going to show up, but that's why we have mods. So the moderators are have the power here. Yeah, it could be impulsivity. Where do you get a shirt like mine? This is one of our merch shirts, actually. So it says Neurodiversity University, Hello Brains. Harley, our lovely mod, can you drop a link to the merch store for people who want a shirt like this? Scott, we have mods. All right, so I'm going to set a timer so that we know when to do the first segment. I've been talking for a while. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add a segment. I'm going to add one more segment, which is, I'll call it segment 0. Segment 0 is suggestions for the live stream. Segment 0. No, you know what? That's what this live stream is. That's not a segment. That's just the live stream. Never mind. Erase. Whiteboards are wonderful for ADHD brains because they are very error tolerant. Just erase it. All right, I'm gonna set a timer. I need water. good. Thank you. Yeah, you can absolutely ask questions. So yeah, this is basically going to be, I'm going to ask you questions. You can ask me questions. You can suggest things for the live stream. You can ask to see the Chloe cam. You can ask to see the segment cam. This is your live stream. This is for you. This is for me to connect with you. And then, yeah, I just basically want suggestions. Tell me what you'd like to see in live streams. I do need a time timer. I have a time timer. Where's my time timer? Yeah, that way everybody can see. Yeah, time timer. Woohoo. Ouch. Oh, that was the mic. All right. Yeah, all right. So we're going to do 15 minutes, and then we'll do a segment. Y'all see this? Can they see it? Should I have it? Yeah. Can they still see me? Oh, great. Oh, hey. Cool. I can see what I look like on camera now. That's awesome. Let me answer a couple more questions. So from Gabrielle, you signed your book for me at PAX West 2024. Hello. It was so amazing to meet you, and your content has improved function for me and my mom. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, that book. So have you read the book? That book includes literally everything that I could think of that I thought would be helpful for people with ADHD. All of the stuff that I learned over the last, at the time, 8 years, is in that book. It was a very ambitious project, so I'm really glad that it's helpful for you. I have learned other things since, mostly about navigating big life transitions, which we'll get to in a segment later. But yeah, that segment, the input for the new book, is for the book called, my second book, because the first book did so well. Thank you to everybody who bought it, that they want another book. So, and they're letting me basically do what I want, which is really cool. So I'm doing a book called This Wasn't the Plan, Navigating Big Life Transitions with an ADHD Brain, because I think that big life transitions are where we are most vulnerable. That's where whatever routines we do have in place, whatever supports we do have in place kind of fall apart, and we have to rebuild while also navigating a new thing. So getting support through those transitions and knowing what tools and strategies to use specifically during big life transitions, I think is going to be really empowering for this community. And there's definitely a lot that I wish that I had known before doing things like moving or having a baby or starting a new job that would have been really helpful. So that's that book. So hopefully that book will be helpful as well. I'm a little nervous about it, but yeah. Outrigger said, I wished you picked Magic the Gathering. Okay, so here's the thought process, right? So I genuinely did like bird watching better, which surprised me. However, one of the things that made it easier for me to let go of Magic the Gathering being my hobby. Oh, shoot, I just gave it away. Oh, no. I feel like if an episode's been out a couple months, I can do spoilers, right? Anyway, the reason why I didn't pick Magic the Gathering was because I genuinely was like, Magic the Gathering is my partner's hobby, and he loves it, and that's great. But if I'm going to get really into something, that's not it. Like, I would probably be more likely to get into bird watching than Magic the Gathering if I didn't know anybody who was into either one. But because he does like Magic the Gathering, it did make it a little bit easier to go with my gut on which hobby was my hobby, because I knew that I would still be able to play. It's not that the hobby that I don't pick I'm never gonna engage in it again. Like, in life there's want tos and willing tos, right? Like, there's things I'm willing to do because somebody else loves it and I can still have a great time doing it. But I'm looking for my want tos. I'm the one who would be like, hey, can we go do this? Can somebody go bird watching with me? And for me, that's what it was. But I still play Magic the Gathering with him, and he has many, many Magic cards. I played Commander for the first time, and it was actually pretty fun. Aw. All right, there's one more comment that I want to respond to, and then I'll look back at the live chat. I love you so much, Jessica. I've been watching your channel for a few years. I specialize in treating individuals with ADHD. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting, because it's like I can reach people with ADHD individually, but people who treat people with ADHD, watching the channel and learning these things, you have so much more ability to reach people on a deeper level than I do, and it's just, it amplifies it, right? So I'm reaching you, one person, but then you're reaching so many other people that it creates these really beautiful ripple effects. So thank you for watching. I'm gonna cry. Okay. Move the cup. Oh, yes, the cup should not be by the laptop. Thank you. Aw. Somebody wants to do reaction videos to my content in order to expose. Please, yeah, do reaction videos. I did a reaction video to one of my own videos. I know more now, and research knows more now, but I'm surprised at how well even the older ones hold up, because at first I was so scared that I shouldn't be doing what I was doing as a college dropout. Like, I didn't have a degree in this. I wasn't a doctor. That I was very, very obsessively like, let me make sure I'm not wrong about this. So I would make sure that I checked lots of different sources. At first it was just Googling stuff, but like still I'd be like, okay, this blog says this and this blog says this and Chad says this, and I would try and make sure that everybody kind of agreed with each other before I shared information. So yeah, thankfully the even the older videos for the most part hold up. Oh, does the time timer, why you no work? I wonder if the batteries are dead. Do we have new batteries? Okay. Yeah, the time timer definitely isn't running. Thank you. Needs a recharge holiday. Time timer got distracted. All right, you know what? We're going to just go ahead and say that it ended. So we're going to do our first segment, which is add hobbies to the hobby bowl. Okay, I want to ask you, is it better to do the segments in order, or is it better to do like a spinny thing where we choose the segments at random, and then once we're through all of the segments, then the live stream's over? Or do you want them in order? What do you think? In order? Dice? Order for now? Roll a dice? Spinny, order. Oh, it's pretty split. Okay, cool. Well, we'll do dice, random, spin, D20. Okay, so for now we'll do it in order, but yeah, for the next stream, I think it would be fun to do a spinny thing or roll the dice, but we'll figure that out. We're trying to do enough new things this time that we will just go in order. I need an eraser. Kai, can you cut to our lovely correspondent? Did you cut to the chair? Fantastic. That's not a cat. Doggo still has a concern. All right. Add hobbies to the hobby bowl. Oh, wait, no. Why am I erasing it? We haven't done it yet. All right. Doing things in the right order is hard for people with ADHD. Well, we're going to add hobbies to the hobby bowl. That is the segment. Kai, how did you do these? How did you cut them?
I've got blank ones.
Oh, we have blank ones. Great. Yeah, I totally erased it. I don't know. Let's do 10. Let's add 10 hobbies to our hobby bowl. I'm gonna steal this pen. All right, adding hobbies to the hobby bowl. All right, hobbies. So I need hobbies. Squirrel, looking for a hobby. Chloe deserves more screen time. Crochet. I see crochet. Freehand knife sharpening. Okay, hang on. Crochet. I'm very curious what that would be. Freehand knife sharpening. Shoot. Are we able to scroll back on the comments? Okay. Crochet, freehand knife sharpening. Let's see. Can you go back a little more? Oh my gosh, there's so many. Okay, cool. Okay, so I have crochet, freehand knife sharpening, train spotting. I have no idea what that is. Drawing, painting. I'll do drawing / painting. Train spotting. Train spotting. What I love about this community is I'm like, what hobby should I do? And then there's like multiple hobbies I've never even heard of. Train spotting. Drawing / painting. Drawing / painting, or are those two different hobbies? What do you think? Ooh, astronomy. Yeah. I'm going to do drawing / painting, and then I'll see if you all have an opinion as to if those should be two different things. Resin casting. I'm seeing a bunch of resin casting. Or maybe I'm just reading it multiple times, but I don't know what that is either, and I'm very curious. Resin casting. Tatting? Like getting tattoos? Is that what that would be? Hang on. I need to Google this. Tatting. Tatting. What is tatting? Oh, it's an old lace making art. Oh, that's really cool. That's very different from what I thought. Okay, tatting. Not to be confused with tattooing, which I feel like shouldn't be one of my hobbies. Oh wait, this one's very sticky. All right, tatting. That's very sticky. Sticky. Tatting. The danger of asking for all these hobbies is I'm really like, I'm going to end up, I wanted one hobby. I wanted to narrow my hobbies down, and I'm going to end up with like 5,000 hobbies. Tatting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Drawing / painting. Tattooing is just drawing with a specific surface. Yes, it is also not error tolerant. I need an undo button for anything that I do in life. Okay. Drawing and painting should be separate, but they're dependent. The first time you draw it, do drawing, but put it back in the bowl. Second time, paint. Okay. Drawing, painting. Okay, so then I'm going to do drawing, and then I'm going to say, if you draw this one, put painting back in the bowl. In the bowl. Okay. Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. All right, I need 3 more. I know you have. Okay, I see geocaching, woodworking, fencing, kite making. Okay, how do I narrow this down? I wanna put all of them in, but I promised 10. So, all right, vote. Yeah, if you all like one of the ones that was suggested, like put it in again. Like, what do we think? I'm seeing geocaching. A lot of people are saying geocaching like in all caps, so I'm doing geocaching. All right, bye. Yeah, geocaching. Wow, okay. People are really into this. I'm going to do it in all caps. Geocaching. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8. I need 2 more. What do you think? I've seen astronomy. Astronomy's in. Resin art is in. What else? Okay. Stargazing, roller skating. Roller skating's already in here, but you know what? I'll do it again. Roller skating. I've seen woodworking a few times. I'm gonna do woodworking. There's so many. Okay, rock climbing. I've seen rock climbing a bunch of times, so I'm going to do rock climbing, and I think that's it for now. But, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so we have rock climbing, drawing, and if I draw that one, then I'm going to put painting in and do that next. Tatting, not to be confused with tattooing. Train spotting, which I still have no idea what that is, other than watching trains. I don't know. Train spotting, resin casting, astronomy, woodworking, freehand knife sharpening, crochet, and geocaching. Okay, so I totally have time to do all of these things. Oh, our producer was just like, hey, do sarcasm cam in 30 seconds. All right, so let's see. Sarcasm cam, I have to think of a joke. So I could do tattooing as an art form. It's fine that I'm not at all good at drawing, right? Did that work? The sarcasm cam? Gardening will change your life. Train spotting, watch the movie first. Drawing is for everyone. My toddler is currently very impressed with my drawing skills because I can draw her a big heart or a tiny heart. Or a big star or a tiny star. And that might be the extent of my my drawing capabilities. Okay. Yeah. All right, so did we find another battery for the time timer? If the time timer's working, then I will do that again, and then when the time timer's up, maybe it's 10 minutes and then a segment, because I was thinking 15 minutes and then a segment, and then 15 minutes and then a segment, and that would be a 2-hour live stream, but that is not actually how time works because the segments themselves take time. So 10 minutes, then a segment. All right, we're gonna see if this works now. Yeah, okay. Sounds like it works. Wait. Yeah, I can keep going while this is going. What is sarcasm cam? Sarcasm cam is one of our cameras where apparently I can just do like, or reaction, I guess. Reaction cam, sarcasm cam. What would it be? Like, Jessica totally intended to get to all of the hobbies. She did not. The office cam. Yeah, kind of. Am I going to do a live chat once a week? I'm thinking once a month because we pretty much put out like 3 videos a month right now. We put out a video, or we try to put out a video every Tuesday or almost every Tuesday. So I was thinking if we put out a video 3 Tuesdays a month and then the last Tuesday or whatever Tuesday, I'll have to figure it out. But if that other Tuesday is a live stream, that would be fun. All right, there's more questions that the mods have pulled over that I want to get to. So this was much earlier. Thank you for your patience. Hi from Utah. Any tips to help teens with daily schedules, academics, and how to do life in general? That is such a big question. But probably my best answer for all of it is ask them, because teens might not have the ability to come up with the answers on their own, but Rick Green from Totally ADD had a really great point, and he said everybody has the answers to their own struggles. They just haven't been asked the right questions, and so just asking them questions and letting them kind of think through what they need is a really great way to do that. I wish that my mom had done that instead of doing it for me. Which is a lot of the time what she did. She saw that I would struggle, and so she would try and do it for me, or she'd try and find resources for me, instead of going, hey, like, you know, what's one thing that if you did that thing today, it would make things easier on you tomorrow or in the future? Or what 3 things that if you get those 3 things done, you'll feel like today was a success? Like, asking those questions and then helping to, or understanding ADHD yourself really well, and then being able to ask questions that are going to be helpful for your kid. So you're already in the right place learning about that. But yeah, that's what I would say. I have a lot of tools and strategies on the channel, but ultimately, like, I feel like in high school especially, it's about creating mindfulness about where are you running into challenges, what helps, what doesn't. It's a great time to experiment. It's a great time to fail while you still have that that safety net, right? So that's probably my best advice there. I can't give specific advice for specific situations, but just as a general rule, I hear a lot of teens asking me on the channel, like I get a lot of comments saying, I wish my parents would listen. We talk a lot when babies are young because we want to help develop language and teach them things, but as kids get older, it's more important that we listen. So that's my best advice. And are you still using the ice water bag for the swimmer's reaction calm down? When I remember to, yes. That is that's still one of my favorite tools. That's not the tool of the day because we still have 7 minutes left. But yeah, basically, a cold ice pack to the face is one way to calm yourself down if you're having like a panic attack or if you're just really, really anxious. It kind of resets your nervous system to have that temperature shift. But I don't love that tool because ice is cold. It's very, very cold. So instead of ice, somebody once told me that you can use a baggie of cold water. So you just get like a little plastic baggie, little Ziploc bag or whatever, fill it with cold water, which I have a Brita in my fridge, so I just use that. Close it up, and then just that water, you just put the bag on your face or on the back of your neck or on your wrists, somewhere where you can feel that cold. And it is amazing. And I will even do it for my partner. If he's struggling, I'll be like, do you want cold? And he'll usually at least be able to nod yes, and I can go get it for him. But it's nice because it's not as cold as like an ice pack, but it also, there's something really soothing about just the water itself, like being able to hold it and I don't know, just feeling the water shift around me. It just works really well for me. So I put out an episode about that a while back of like, this is a tool that I learned it was actually in postpartum when I was really, really dysregulated, really having a hard time. I learned that tool and it's been game changing. And I just rediscovered it again last week and I was like, oh yeah, this thing's amazing. Yeah, ice pack, little lunch ice box on the body. Yeah, and they even have, Dusty's here. Hi, Dusty. Yeah, they even have so you can take it anywhere. I got like a whole box of just the emergency ice pack things where you can just stick them in your bag, you stick them in your backpack, whatever, and then you just break it and you can just use an ice pack on the go too. So if I'm home, I'll do the cold water thing, and if I'm out, then I'll do the ice pack. Yeah, love a DBT skill. Yep. Oh, yeah. So I'll call this out too. Harley just said, for those who have joined us more recently, if you have a question, please start it off with question or question. So it's easier for the mods to catch the questions. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, the travel ones are great. Ooh. Jonathan wants to know, would you ever make a video about ADHD and autism at the same time in a person? That's not a bad idea. My partner struggles with both as well as PTSD. So it is really tough for him. The ADHD need for novelty combined with that, autistic need for same is an interesting challenge. Yeah, that would be an interesting thing. I'll have to ask him if he would speak about it because I don't have autism myself, but he does have both, and he was diagnosed late in life too. So that could be an interesting episode, just have him talk about like. And he's also a psychologist, right? So he can speak to it from a clinical perspective as well as like personally what that experience is like for him. It's not going to reflect everybody's experience, but that would be really interesting. You are the woman. Thank you. Do lists help you? I'm just completely struggling with getting anything done. They do. And it's one of those strategies that's so simple and has been around forever, and we like new and novel, and so I tend to I keep trying all these new tools and strategies and stuff, and then I make a list and I'm like telling everybody for like 3 days, did you know lists are amazing? Do you know how helpful lists are? We just did another collab with Cass from Clutterbug, but virtually, to where my partner and I were doing all the work along with whoever we could rope in to get help from. And Cass was just giving us some guidance virtually on how to... How loud is that? Basically, Cass from Clutterbug is giving us guidance on what to do, and we're doing it. And one of the most helpful things is that after we talk, her producer sends us a list, like a checklist of what we need to do for homework. And it is unbelievably helpful, not only in supporting working memory, we don't have to like remember what were we supposed to do, but also when we're trying to do like other things, right? Because scope creep is a thing. I'll look back at the list and be like, what did we actually say we were going to do so that we can do those things? And then I do a mental list a lot of the time of like, I really love the 3 things strategy of what 3 things that if I do those things today, will I consider today a success? But for bigger projects or where there's like more than 3 things involved and there needs to be more than 3 things involved, I'm a huge fan of lists. And I also am not as good about doing it because I just forget. It's like, it's an old tool. It's a boring tool, but it freaking works. It works so well. Yeah, scope creep. Yeah, scope creep. And one more thing, itis is like such an ADHD thing, right? Like I'm doing the thing and like, ooh, what about this? Oh, and if we did this? Oh, and if we did this? And one more thing. Which I also do in meetings. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, and this is the last thing that we'll talk about. Oh, and also this. Oh, and then also this. Which is one of the reasons why my segments board is going to be helpful in knowing when to end the live stream. When the last segment is done, the live stream is done. Because otherwise, we will be here for 3 days. How are we doing on time? Ooh, we've got like less than a minute until the next segment. How is my desk already cluttered? Oh, question. Yeah, okay. I did see a question. I'll just say this really quickly. The Wall Street Journal just came out with an article. If anybody's interested about the Tylenol autism thing, I know that that's in the news a lot right now. So I will say the research that I've read, I'm not ready to speak to it yet. It is something that we will address at some point. But in the meantime, the Wall Street Journal just today came out with a really nuanced article about it. But the TLDR is, if you are pregnant and you are not treating your pain or your fever, like that's actually potentially more problematic, or that is more problematic than taking Tylenol. That's kind of what it comes down to. Don't take Tylenol while you're pregnant if you don't need to. But we don't have strong evidence to suggest that Tylenol is causing autism. Like, that's not a thing. There are some studies that suggest that it is potentially a contributor, but we also don't know. If people are taking Tylenol while they're pregnant, we don't know if it's because they're dealing with pain or infection or other things that are the actual contributor. We don't know that it's the Tylenol that's doing it, is the TLDR. Again, I will get into the research a little bit more, but that's the TLDR from what the Wall Street Journal was saying. So you can check out that article if you're interested. All right. Ah! So this went off. That is really loud. I'm going to turn that down. Okay. Tool of the day is the next segment. Let's do it. Okay. Segment. Oh, don't erase it yet. So segment number 2 is tool of the day. So let me get out my toolbox and clean up my desk a little bit here. All right. Toolbox. Tool of the day. So I didn't know this segment was going to happen, but I did know it was one of the ones that I would like to happen. And there are tools in here. Let's see what tools are in here, because we just did a toolbox episode. No. You guys know about Post-it notes. Yeah, I forgot to take this home. It's probably still good, right? Still good. Okay. So, tool of the day is food. Food. This episode brought to you by food. Food is important. Eat it. Food. No, the actual tool, thank you, Kai. The actual tool is something called breadcrumbs. So, Dusty, I know Dusty knows breadcrumbs. If you've been in the ADHD community for a while, you probably already know this. It's one of the best tools. Basically, people with ADHD can have a hard time stopping because if we stop doing what we're doing, we know that we're going to have a hard time getting back into it. So taking breaks can be hard because, like, it took me so long to figure out what I was doing and to get started and to get focused. And now you want me to break out of focus? Like, I'm actually focused and doing the thing. You want me to stop? How am I going to get back in? But the problem is, we have other things that are important to us, like eating actual food or going and relaxing, going to a party, I don't know, just taking a break, taking a mental break. So one of the things that can help is leaving yourself breadcrumbs. So if you need to step away, you basically, I don't know, I got rid of the Post-it notes. Hang on. All right, let's say it was time for me to do a segment and I was really excited to answer a question or I was in the middle of an explanation. I could be like, okay, I can come back to that and I know I can come back to it because I'm going to leave myself breadcrumbs. So the first breadcrumb is going to be what you just did. So I just was responding to a question by XYZ and I had just said this. And then you leave yourself a second breadcrumb, which is what would I have done if I could have kept going? So I would have been like, okay, Tylenol and autism, like the next thing I would have done was gonna be talking about how I will reach out to Patrick, my research consultant, and then maybe I would text him is my next step, right? So then you leave yourself those breadcrumbs, and now it's easier to switch. It's easier to transition away from what I'm doing because I know that when I come back, I'm not gonna be like, wait, what was I doing? What was I going to do? I know what I just did and I know what I was going to do. And then that gives you like a next step in. And so it's easier to restart. It's kind of like putting a bookmark in whatever it is that you were doing. So let's see. Yeah, our community manager, Harley, is typing his how to ADHD. Yes. And then you'll see Marauder in chat as well. He's one of our mods as well. But our official how to ADHD is being run by our community manager, Harley. All right, did that make sense? Did the breadcrumbs thing make sense? Yes, the crumbs are really important when you go on vacation. Yeah, if you've ever gone on vacation, even for like a weekend vacation, and you come back and you're like, what was my job again? Like, how do I do my job? I don't remember. And then it takes like a whole day just to get back into it. I know me and people on my team have been like, yeah, this is why I shouldn't take a vacation because then it's harder, right? Like whatever stress relief the vacation provided is kind of undone by the stress of like trying to get back into work. So leaving yourself a thing of like, okay, you know, maybe in that case you leave yourself a few more breadcrumbs of, okay, this is what I just wrapped up. This is where I left things. And then you come back and you get to come back to like I don't know, you can even write yourself like a little note like, hello, you know, insert your name here. Welcome back to work. This is your job. This is what you do on Mondays. This is your routine, whatever it is, like so that you can get back into it. And this is the project you were working on and here's where you were at. It's just a nice thing to do for your future self. Y'all go on vacations. Am I in the wrong tax bracket, chat? Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends. I go on vacations. Most of my vacations right now, I would say, are like work trips where somebody pays me to go give a talk and I'm like, hey, can I stay a couple of extra days? And they're like, sure. But I did get to go. It was really cool. I got to do my first real family vacation a couple of weeks ago, and I had I was able to fly on miles. Yeah, points, miles, whatever airlines give you. I was like, oh, I have these things and I haven't used them yet, so I was able to do that. And then my mom, it's a whole thing, but my mom left me a timeshare. Or when she died, she had a timeshare, and so I was able to take that over. It was already paid off and everything, and so that was good. But yeah, I shouldn't go to timeshare presentations. That's a bad idea. They're still trying to bother me for signing up for more points. Yeah, do yourself. Welcome back. Do the things. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, hi. That too. Okay, Lady Phoenix has a really good point. Jessica, maybe instead of expecting yourself to perform the same way, maybe give yourself a week to slowly back into the process again. Maybe that is neurotypical expectations and you could change. Thank you for calling that out. You were correct. That was a really good point. Internalized ableism. All right, I'm going to set another timer for 10 minutes and then we will do the other one, but we can erase the... Where did my paper towel go? Ugh. Tool of the day. Bye-bye, tool of the day. All right. Yeah, expectations. So hard. I'm always having to change and adjust them. Thank you. Thank you. That was a really good point. I did do one thing. So I used to expect myself to be able to get ready for vacation, go on vacation, come back, you know, on the Saturday or the Sunday, and then jump right back to work on a Monday. I did do something different this time, which is it made my vacation shorter, which wasn't great, but it was so much more smooth because I took the weekend before I left to get ready for the vacation. And then I did the vacation Monday through Friday, and then I came back on Friday evening, and I had Saturday and Sunday to unpack, to get ready for the week, and that helped a lot. It felt excessive to like have 5 days of vacation and 4 days to like get ready and decompress from it, but it's kind of what I needed. So, yeah. Time between trip and work resuming makes a huge difference. Yeah. I think when I was single, I needed 1 day to prep for the trip and then the trip and then 1 day to unpack and relax. And now that I have a toddler, it's 2 days. I'm going to do not disturb. Do not disturb. Okay. More. Okay. A toolbox tool of the day sounds great. I am looking for a daily affirmation email for neurodivergence. Do you have any ideas or recommendations? Ooh, that's a really good idea. I don't. Does anybody in the community know of a daily affirmation email for neurodivergence? Ooh, you know what I do have? Hang on. This is really fun. It's, let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Nope, that's my account. Disappointing affirmations, I think it's what it's called. It's called Disappointing Affirmations, and I think it's supposed to be like tongue-in-cheek, but I actually find it really validating. It's on Instagram. There's also a book called Disappointing Affirmations, and and it's things like, energy flows where attention goes. My overthinking could power an entire city. Lower your expectations. Just expect to be disappointed. Stop worrying if people like you. They don't. I don't know why. I just like this. I like this account. Aw, but then, okay. They shared something that was sweet. Friendly reminder. You are the greatest project you'll ever work on. You are allowed to restart, refocus, reset as many times as you need. Be yourself. Just not all the way. The only person you can truly rely on is you. What a nightmare. I don't know why I find that so validating. This isn't an app. This is an Instagram account. It's called Disappointing Affirmations. Disappointed but not surprised is my entire vibe. What else? You will get through this, complaining the entire way like you always do. Something about the fact that it's like so negative makes my brain go, well, it's not that bad. And then I feel better. Whereas if I do like traditional affirmations that are like super positive, my brain wants to argue with them. So I don't know, that natural ADHD tendency to like want to rebel or argue with something kind of works if like if the affirmations are terrible. You're like, well, okay, it's not that bad. Yeah, reverse psychology affirmations. That's basically it. Yeah. Oh, disappointing affirmations would be good for the sarcasm cam. All right, let's try it, Kai. All right, I'm gonna read the first part of a disappointing affirmation, and then I'm gonna look to the sarcasm cam for the second part. Ready? Let's do it. This is, oh my god. Do you want a like a light one or a dark one? Hang on. Let's see. I'm going to do the dark one. All right. Be proud of how far you've come. Everyone thought you'd be dead by now. Did that work? Finch. People are talking about Finch. Yeah, that works. Awesome. Cool. Disappointing affirmations. Dark. All right. We like dark humor. Good to know. You'll never pin an oppositional define order on me. That was really funny. Well done. Ooh, interesting. I have another question here that the mods pulled. When is your suggestion as to when to test kids for ADHD/autism/ADHD? So, this is an interesting one. I would say. So Chad, the Children and Adults for ADD ADHD, is very much of the opinion that the earlier the better. It's better to know. It's better to know, and I'm kind of like that too. The earlier you know what kind of equipment you're working with, the better. I know a lot of parents are worried about putting labels on their kids. I'm not at that point yet with my own kids, so I'm sure there's things that might come up for me, feelings that might come up for me later with my own kid that I'm not prepared for, because I'm not there. I'm not in that situation. But what I can say as somebody who does understand how her brain works now, finally, who didn't really understand that. Like, I was diagnosed with ADD at age 12, but I didn't know what it meant. Nobody really explained it to me. I think it was kind of euphemistic of like, oh, well, you have trouble focusing and this medication helps you focus. But like, I didn't really know what I was up against until I had failed so many things that I was like, okay, I got to start a YouTube channel, I guess, and like put everything I learned somewhere I can actually find it again, because I can't keep living like this at 32 years old. If I had known sooner, I would have been much more empowered. Parents are a lot of times concerned about putting a label on their kid because they don't want them to be limited. And I totally understand that part, because I have a child and I never want anything but the best for her. I want her to succeed. I want her to be happy. I want her to feel empowered and be proud of herself and all of those things. But the thing is, having the label itself creates access to tools and supports and understanding that actually is empowering. So me, plus a true understanding of my limitations and my challenges, I am a more empowered version of myself than I was when I didn't think that I had these challenges, because then it was like I kept tripping over these invisible obstacles and having no idea why, and just blaming myself and accepting the explanations that other people gave of like, you just must not care, you must not be trying hard enough, like just do this, like, trying all the self-help books that didn't seem to be helping because they were written for neurotypical people, and my brain is not neurotypical, right? So like, I felt like I put in so much effort, and the effort to success ratio was just way skewed before I understood how my brain worked. And now that I understand how it works, I feel like my effort to success ratio is pretty freaking good, because when I run into challenges, I know exactly why, I know exactly what's going on, and I know exactly what to do about it. And you can't know that if you don't know how your own brain works. So in an age-appropriate way, like, I really am a fan of kids even knowing, yeah, my brain works a little bit differently, and this is how my brain works, and this is what my brain needs, as early as possible. Yeah. yeah, for parents who have gotten their kids diagnosed and have experience, please drop that in the chat. But yeah, we need to know what OS we're running, so we know what versions of apps we need to download. That's a really good way of putting it. Yeah. Are you are you going to be at Neurodivergent 2026? I am. I'm going to be heavily involved. I'm like one of the earliest like big fans of this conference, and I also have the ear of the organizers. Like they took some feedback from me last year. They're going to try and improve things this year based on my feedback. I loved the experience. I am definitely going to be there next year. Like as long as this exists, I will be there. I'm hoping that it continues to exist. Last year, they lost a lot of money, and they knew they expected to lose a lot of money because they were intent on providing a really wonderful experience for this community. And there weren't very many people because it was the first year, right? Like not a lot of people signed up, but they still went all out with the experience. And I really respect that. They want to do that again this year, but this year they need to start breaking even, hopefully, so that they can know this is a viable thing that they can keep doing moving forward, because they're going to run out of money at some point. So I am going to be going. You can also sign up. Early bird tickets are going to be on sale pretty soon. So September 30th, they're going to do a limited number of early bird tickets, and use code HowToADHD at checkout for an extra $50 off. So yeah, they're doing early bird tickets that are going to be less expensive than if you buy them later, and the HowToADHD code, HowToADHD at checkout for an extra $50 off. And that $50 off will also apply if it's not an early bird ticket. So if you need to wait and save up or whatever, you can still get the $50 off later. It just won't be that early bird pricing later. But it is such a cool connecting experience, and very intimate because it's still a brand new conference. All right, so we have Today I Learned. Shush. I want more water. Segment Today I Learned. Today I Learned segment. Why do I want to erase it first? This is the Today I Learned segment. All right. Okay, I'm going to cheat a little bit. Technically, yesterday I learned, but I'm going to count it because it's very cool and I want to share it with you. I learned that there is an album that's out, and it's really cool. It is called, it's written by a couple of Emmy award-winning composers in conjunction with neurodivergent. Wow, I'm tired. It's an album that was written by a couple of Emmy award-winning composers in conjunction with parents of neurodivergent kids, and it is called, let me find it. This is one of the cool things about what I do is everybody brings me all of their cool stuff, and they're like, hey, do you want to like spread the word about this? And I'm like, yes, but that means I get to learn about all the cool stuff. So I haven't listened to all of them yet, but I've listened to a little bit of it. So that caveat. ADHD support songs. So ADHD Emmy award-winning composers and devoted parents release album to support neurodivergent kids with a musical tool to help them navigate a wonderful life their way. It's called Nothing Rhymes with Orange, and it's available on all major streaming platforms as of September 19th. Nothing Rhymes with Orange. Orange is the like official ADHD support color, I guess. Like the ribbons are orange. But the tracking list and song descriptions. So the intro, Nothing Rhymes with Orange, which I think is so cute. Nothing rhymes with orange. Like orange is our color, and yeah, nothing rhymes with orange. Like we don't really fit. This song is an introduction to 80, showcasing who she is and what she is about. Song 2 is Anything Else, a fun and easy to follow song about looking back to make sure you haven't forgotten anything. It's quite common with ADHD to misplace, lose, and forget important things when getting distracted. The song highlights the importance of taking a moment to ask yourself, is there anything else I need to do or bring with me? There's a song called Mad Mad Jelly Belly, which is a song about interoception. A song called Put It Away, because we need that reminder. Later on, yeah, there's Breathe, My Orange Tree. Actually, interesting. So, you know what? The Doing Nothing / meditation segment, maybe we'll listen to Breathe and see if that's a good guided meditation. It's meant for kids, but you know what? If it works for kids. It works for adults. So this is called... Yeah, Harley, I had forwarded you the email yesterday. I can do it again today. If you can link the link, it's like platoon.inc.2/nothing rhymes with orange. If you can share that link with people, if anybody's interested in checking this out. Again, I haven't listened to the whole album. It's possible there's something horribly offensive on it. I don't know. I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I love the idea of it, and what I listened to so far is pretty freaking cute. I'm like validating. Cool. So that is Today I Learned. Technically yesterday I learned. Oh, is there anything for meltdowns? You want to know? So potentially. So there's Mad Mad Jelly Belly. This is a song about interoception. We wanted to highlight a moment where AD is feeling mad and how that feels within her own body, and in turn processing and regulating that emotion. Regulating emotion starts with noticing what you're feeling first. In many cases, people feel emotions in their belly, and that can lead them to discovering what they are emotionally experiencing. And then breathe, which we'll do as our meditation segment, is breath work is essential to regulating the nervous system. Anxiety is often a comorbidity to ADHD and autism and can wreak havoc on a developing brain. This is a meditative song that is simple to follow and gives the listener a way to pause the intrusive thinking that is often running through their minds. So I can see this helping. And there's another one, Control. This song represents situational awareness and the ability to choose how to act rather than trying to mask and fit into a neurotypical stereotype. Emotion regulation is a common theme with ADHD. We have chills reading this. This is so good. And oftentimes children lack the skills needed to take a breath and decide how they want to react. This is neat. This is cool. All right, yeah, that was Today I Learned. Now I can erase it. Cool. All right. We have 3 more segments left. This is helpful for me. I have time blindness. This is helpful for me to set timers and do segments so that I know how long I have left for the live stream. Set timer for the next segment, 10 minutes. Thank you. Thank you for the reminders. All right. Let's see. Oh gosh, do you have any tips on how to deal with change with ASD and ADHD? I just started college and it's really hard. Yes, I do. So, if you have ADHD, if you have ADHD, again, like that need for like novelty, newness, as well as potentially time blindness and like jumping into things without really thinking them through, sometimes can come up against the like ASD need for things to be stable and routine and not change quickly. I had a really interesting conversation with my partner yesterday because we did this massive change. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but we tackled our doom room with Cass from Clutterbugs help virtually. And it was a massive project to try and tackle all of this clutter and then turn the room into, it went from being this room that we couldn't really use for anything to a room that we would use for all of the things that we would need to relax, reset, recharge. And I was like, oh, I'm helping, right? I'm helping because I'm going to make this happen really quickly for him so that he has a place to relax and recharge because he's really stressed right now. He's been going through a lot of change. There's been a lot going on and he's pretty much at his limit. So I was like, let me do this real quick. What I hadn't anticipated is like, this is also more change and it's happening really quickly. And so I asked him what would have helped because we did it in the course of like a month and it was pretty brutal for him. And I'm like, but it's better, right? Like it's better that it all like happened all at once because then now you can relax and and he's like, no, it would have been better if it had been slower. it would have been better if it had taken more time. And that was hard for me to understand, because for me, if I have a big project like that, it's taking up a lot of mental bandwidth and it's distracting me from other things. And so for me, getting through it as quickly as possible and going through that change as quickly as possible is better for me, because then I can get it off my mental plate. And he was like, no, I've already got 17 things on my mental plate. What's one more? And I don't have the capacity to handle that much change that quickly. And so we ended up deciding that the other room we would tackle, the last room is our bedroom. First of all, we were going to give ourselves a break from changing things for a while, which is, I just have ADHD. I'm like, oh, we're done with this project. Let's go on to the next. Like, let's start changing the bedroom. And he's like, I need a break. I need some time where things aren't changing and aren't shifting, which, by the way, is also good for me and my functionality. It's just not how my brain like wants to work, but it is good for me. And so I was like, okay. And then he said, and then when we do tackle it, if we can do it piecemeal, if we can do it chunks at a time instead of all at once. So the reason I bring this up is, even with ADHD, definitely with autism, but even with ADHD, scaffolding and making change slowly and building up new skills needed to successfully make the next leap is really helpful. So for a lot of people with ADHD, I'm sure ASD as well, it can help, and it might be too late in your situation, but maybe you can apply some of these things. In general, it's a good idea to, first of all, like, build up some of the skills. Maybe if you're living at home and you're in high school, like, build up some of the skills of learning how to do your own laundry and cook your own meals and all of that before you move out, because once you move out, you're going to be responsible for doing that. You have to do your laundry. You have to feed yourself. Maybe start advocating for yourself to teachers, because even though your parents can do it while you're in high school, they can't once you're in college. So you're going to have to learn to build those skills. So building up some of those skills before you even go off to college. And then when you go to college, if you can, start with a community college, something that's a little less high stakes, where you can maybe still live at home for a little bit and get used to the college experience, because it is a very different experience before you then go off to a university. That's in the States. That, again, might not apply to you, but if there is any way to make change happen a little bit more gradually for yourself, maybe make it easier on yourself in that first year to, take fewer classes, like lower your course load while you're making the adjustment, because it is really tough. Our science officer, Dr. Patrick LeCount, talks about it as a double deficit. You are having to do so much more. There's so much more demand on your executive function, and you are responsible for so much more, at the same time that the social pressures have also increased, where people are like, hey, let's go out, let's party, let's do this. And it's really, really hard for anybody who's neurodivergent. And if you also have autism, that level of change has got to be incredibly intense and overwhelming. So if there's any way to slow down the change, if there's any way to go to disability services and get accommodations, anything like that, and just know that this is really, really, really normal for you to be struggling with this transition. It is a major, major transition. Hello, brains. Yeah, I'm live. Oh, yeah, seeing your timer, yeah, reminds me, I also wanted to get one after seeing this video however long ago. Yeah, I love the time timer. It is so nice to have that visual timer. My lack of time management skills is literally ruining my life. Help. Harley, can you drop links? We've got multiple videos on time management stuff. It is one of the biggest struggles for me, is time blindness, and I've had to learn a lot of tools for that. A linear clock. Yeah, the time tools episode that I did included a link to a linear clock. The only one that I found, though, was really expensive, but they did have one that was also like autism friendly. They have one that's just like beautiful, but they also had one that was specifically autism friendly, and you can actually put, like, if you want, like, your little appointments at different times along the line. But it was expensive. It was the only one that we could find. I want to answer that question real quick. Have you tried any AI for help with ADHD, time management, memory, organization, body doubling? Yeah, the way that I use it, so I will occasionally use something called Goblin Tools that this community told me about. It's, I think, just goblin.tools. And it is specifically for neurodivergent peeps, and has specific functions so that you don't get caught up for like hours talking to a chat bot, because things like ChatGPT, they're designed to keep you chatting. And this is like, you go, you get it to do the one thing that you need it to do, and you're done. One of the things that it does is something called Magic To Do, where it breaks down a project into specific to-dos, and you can ask it to break it down based on how neurospicy you are. So how much do you need this broken down? If you're not that neurospicy, maybe you just need a couple of steps, and then if you're, you know, all the way at 5 spiciness, maybe you're like, no, literally, if you're going to tell me to cook, I need you to tell me to turn on the water if I'm going to wash the potatoes instead of just wash the potatoes. So, yeah, that's really helpful. Very neurospicy. Yep. Hi, French. Oh, it's so cool seeing people from all over the world. Yeah, and one of the things that I learned about if you do use something like ChatGPT, I thought this was really cool. Instead of having it do all the work for you, have it support the work that you're doing. So like, hey, I'm outlining an essay and this is how I'm planning on doing it. Do you have any notes or suggestions or whatever? And then see if it's actually useful, instead of being like, hey, I have to write an essay. Can you do the outline for me? Be like, hey, this is what I came up with. Can you help me fill in the gaps? Getting it to support your efforts instead of to replace your efforts is going to make it so that it makes it so that it strengthens your executive function instead of replacing it, which can be helpful for our brains so that we're not losing skills by leaning on it. Everybody's talking about Finch. Yeah, if you don't know what Finch is, it's super cute. There's a little self-care app where there's a little burb. You have a little burb, and you can invite friends so that you can go and say hi, send hugs, wave at them, compliment them on their cute outfit. It's an adorable app. And there's a free version, and then I think the paid version is like, I don't know. Got to figure out how to like show people my phone. The sarcasm cam can be a phone cam. Let's see. 1 day streak. You got this. All right. How many days in a row will you take care of Wazoo? 2 days. Baby steps. Commit to this goal. Daily affirmation there is, I am treasured. How motivated are you for today? So it gives you like a little check-in. I'm pretty motivated. The live stream is actually helping. Time for a fresh start. You can tell I haven't used it in a little bit. Archive your past goals and begin a new chapter of growth. Let's start fresh. So you can be like, what's one area of support? You know, what's one area of like support with right now? You know what? I would like to sleep better. So it's generating some goals for that. Anyway, so yeah, you go, your new plan with Wazoo. Drink water, get out of bed, brush teeth, take 3 deep breaths. Okay, let's do it. Give me a plan. And then you can have people visit. So like right now somebody's visiting me. Aw, send back good vibes. I'm going to send back hugs. So yeah, the entire app is about taking care of yourself, and it's just super cute. And that is the timer. Input for new book. Ooh, I can't wait for this. All right, so segment 4 is... Yeah, I think the spinner would be good. The spinner or the die or whatever, so that we're like, okay, which segment is it going to be? And then we choose. Because this is like cool but not terribly exciting. But this is input for the new book. This wasn't the plan. Navigating big transitions with an ADHD brain. There we go. All right. Yeah, we're moving along nicely. This is cool. This is really fun. But you know what? We haven't seen Chloe for a minute. Can we have a Chloe cam? What's she doing? Still sleeping. Hi, Chloe. You're so good. Hi, sweetheart. You're good. Lay down. No, you know what? I need pets. Hi, sweetie. Hi. Oh, set new timer. Oh, not yet, because I have to do the segment first. The segment is... You know what? Actually, I will set a timer for this, because otherwise this segment could take up a long time. Segment... How long should segments be? What, 5 minutes? How long should the segment be? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? 5 minutes? Yeah, 5 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes. You know what? This one feels like it needs to be a bit of a longer segment. I'm going to do this segment as 10 minutes. So I want to hear input for the new book. So this is the book that I'm writing about navigating big transitions with an ADHD brain. It's called This Wasn't the Plan, because I kind of want to establish from the beginning that this is not a book that's going to make your transitions go perfectly smoothly. In fact, it's very likely they will still be bumpy. However, it's going to hopefully make it so we have the tools to be able to adjust as needed. So we can hopefully set ourselves up for success and know what to do when things go off the rails. Let me open up. I should have left myself breadcrumbs for this book. What did I put it under? Book number 2. Book number 2. Okay. This wasn't the plan. Okay, so first question. When I'm going through big transitions is when my language gets a little bit more colorful. So I don't know. I guess we're gonna decide this later. I'm writing this in colorful language. Whether there's still colorful language when it is a book out in the world, I don't know. But I'm gonna be using a lot of dark humor with this. So we're using a 2-part structure for the book. Part 1 is understanding change and how it can be challenging, especially challenging for people with ADHD. That might be like the first third of the book. And then the next 2 thirds are tools to help. So I'll have an intro, which is like, why this book? Chapter 1 is change is good, right? An exploration of why we bother making change or looking for silver linings. So change is good, right? Chapter 2 is, oh no. Chapter 3 is, oh. And chapter 4 is, think fuck. So yeah, chapter 3 is, all right, okay. Chapter 1, change is good, right? Chapter 2 is, oh no, an exploration of the costs of change and its unintended side effects. The next chapter is, an explanation as to why change is especially hard on those with ADHD, what I learned. It's not just ADHD, it's our coexisting conditions too, our trauma history. We also tend to have fewer resources to help us through, so fewer financial resources, fewer support resources, financial, social. The next one is, an explanation of the ways in which ADHD, chapter 4 is an explanation of the ways in which ADHDers are uniquely equipped to rise to the challenges of change, given the opportunity and resources and runway to do so, and an introduction to the idea that we can absolutely crush it by putting together a transition-specific toolbox. At the very least, we can keep from getting crushed. So all right. So for anybody who just joined, hello. I'm talking about, or we're in segment 4, which is input for book number 2. Oh, hi. Welcome to our live stream. We're doing segments every 10 minutes-ish, chosen by people in the community at the beginning of the stream. And this segment is input for the new book, which is this wasn't the plan, navigating big transitions with the ADHD brain. So I feel like I should have thought about like what input I wanted, but basically, so change is good, right? Chapter 2 is, oh no. Chapter 3 is, oh fuck. Chapter 4 is, think fuck. Then chapter 5 currently is called Pretty Preppy. It's going to be tools for planning and prepping for a big change. Chapter 6 is starting gun. So like tools for getting started or, because in that chapter, I want to talk about creating your own starting gun rather than waiting for an external catalyst. So a lot of times we go through change when we don't have a choice, right? Like we don't leave home until like our parents kick us out. And then we're responding to that external catalyst, or we don't change jobs until we get fired. And so having those external catalysts creates a sense of urgency that makes it so that we can then go through a transition. But it would be better if we could choose when to go through that transition instead of life choosing for us, because then we can be better prepared and more empowered, I guess. So chapter 7 is coping-ish. Tools for healthy coping, absolution for whatever you got to do to get through, assuming you're not hurting anyone. let's see. Chapter 8 is You Are Here, tools for assessing and monitoring your progress. Chapter, I've got to figure this out, but like there's going to be, this gets a little bit messy now, but like chapter 9 I think is rerouting route, or chapter 10 might be, I don't know, where am I or what have I done? Basically like, oh shoot, like yeah, what have I done? Another chapter is going to be learning from the experience, parentheses optional, and then the final chapter will be putting it all together. So yeah, basically there will be tools for planning and prepping, tools for getting started, tools for coping, tools for assessing and monitoring, and tools for getting back on some kind of track if you find yourself way off track. Yeah, and then a recap. So that's kind of what I've got so far. I want to hear what people are saying. Recalculating. Yeah, recalculating route. Oh, recalculating. Yep, recalculating. Thank you. Recalculating route. That's good. Can you make a chapter around the struggle of the struggle around physical intimacy with partners? Oh, interesting. So the chapters are going to be around tools for specific categories of doing the change, right? There's the planning and prepping, getting started, coping /ish, assessing and monitoring, and then recalculating route. But in the coping-ish chapter, there could be stuff on. There could be something about you're not just coping with the new change, but like you still have all the other areas of your life that need attention. So like if what you mean is like something like physical intimacy while going through a big life transition, that could be an interesting thing to include. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, I don't know why I didn't even think about that. It's not like the rest of life stops when we go through a big transition. The rest of our life is still happening too. Yeah, I don't know what chapter it goes in, but I'm going to make a note of this. It could even be in the planning and prepping, like when we're prepping, like recognizing we can't be like, oh, this will take me a day and this will take me a day and this will take me a day. So like, I only need 3 days. Like, well, you also have other stuff that needs to happen though. Something around physical intimacy. Like maintaining physical intimacy is one area, but like maintaining connection with the people you love while going through a big transition is important. Thank you. Yeah, financial tips. Yeah. Financial tips. Some of it will be outside the scope of the book, but what I can do is provide resources. What is out of scope? Yeah, that's definitely part of prepping, right? Is like building up your financial reserves, because probably things are going to go wrong in a transition, and having the financial reserves to handle it when those things go wrong is really important. When your moving truck gets towed because you parked it in the wrong place, you need to be able to bail it out, right? I need this book now. Yay. I'm so glad. Ooh, what about when multiple changes are happening, like having kids or grandkids and buying a house and changing jobs? Yeah. Yeah, I definitely need something along those lines of like when multiple transitions are happening. Yeah, because I had the baby and I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm preparing for this transition of having a baby, and then my partner lost his job. And I'm like, oh, okay, hadn't planned for that. And then my last producer quit, and I was like, okay, didn't plan for that either. So yeah, and then just transition after transition after transition, all while trying to go through the having a baby thing. I can definitely relate to that. Accepting change and grieving the past life. That's really good. How to manage the ultimate meltdown. You know what? Yeah, the coping tools, you have to include like meltdowns and shutdowns. Meltdowns, shutdowns. Panic attacks are really common. Make boring. Ooh, yep. That's the end of that segment. But that was very helpful, and I will read through these comments later because that was really good. Make boring stable. So yeah, the last thing that I'll say about that is that, man, when I hang on, boring stable. I'll know what this means later if I leave myself breadcrumbs. Boring stable. Yeah, everyone, when I had a baby, everybody's like, oh, enjoy it. And I took that seriously, like, enjoy every moment. So I tried to enjoy every moment. But the problem is, like, that created this whole roller coaster where I was having these incredibly exciting experiences, like introducing my baby to all these people, and then these really low lows when I was crashing and melting down. And what I realized is, like, that was the wrong advice for me. Enjoy every moment was the absolute wrong advice for me. What I needed was boring, stable. I needed to not invite anybody who was too exciting over until I stabilized. I needed stability. So yeah, something about like finding stability in the sea of change. We're always, like, people with ADHD are often like looking for new and novel and all of that, but now is not the time. When you're going through a transition, is not the time for new and novel. Thank you. This is super helpful. I can't wait to read the rest of the comments. All right. Cool. Let's get back to your questions. Oh, and erase this. We're done with the segment 4. All right. Segment 5 is going to be a cute creature break, which will be a Chloe cam, and probably we'll have to... actually, Kai, can you find... while we're doing this, Kai, can you find like some really adorable creatures on the internet that we can pull up pictures of for that break? Let me get more water. Chloe cam. Did I...
Try it now.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No sound. I think... Did I trip over a cord, maybe? Oh, we're back. Yay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I had said that it would be really funny if every time we cut to Chloe, there's like different music playing. Different mood music. Cool. Hello. By the way, anybody who is joining later, this is our test live stream. Welcome. This has been pretty fun so far. I think it's going well. I like the segments idea. It's our very ADHD coded live stream where we talk for a while and we come up with segments, and then we do the segments maybe in order, maybe spinny or dice rolly to figure out which segment comes first. And today's Chloe mood music was the sound of silence. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you, Keith. Transitions we're expecting. Perfect. I'm going to come back and read these comments. I appreciate, all your input about the types of transitions. or what you want to know. What would you want in a book about transitions? Feel free to keep commenting. I'm going to move on to other questions, but I will come back and read these later. Guys, stop the cat there's voice. Aw, this is the only video I haven't skipped in so long. Yay. That makes me happy. This is fun. This is super fun. Love the breaks of Chloe Cam. You reading ideas, answering questions. Cool. Chloe should have her own theme tune. Oh, yeah. So, okay. So some people have done the like donate or super chat or whatever. Like anything that comes in there. I forgot to say this. Anything that comes in there, we're going to take a portion of that and get stuff to make the next live stream even cooler. I figure if we take like, I don't know, a percentage, we'll figure out the percentage that makes sense, but like a percentage of what gets donated for super chat or like thanks from the channel, super thanks. I forget what it's called. I feel like I should know this. But yeah, we'll take a portion of that and upgrade our live stream so that next time it's even cooler. Or we can get new tools to show off in our tool of the day. So yeah. Okay. Yay, love the live stream. Even if I can't contribute with ideas or questions, it's still very fun. I'm so glad. Oh, to be prepared to include statements into a segment, it helps for the segments to be in order. That's a really good point. And then it helps our producer do it as well. So maybe we do the thing in order. We could always do a spinny thing for which one gets to go first. And then we go in order from, I don't know. We'll think about it. Oh, yeah. Remind people about the merch in the store. T-shirt. So this shirt is our merch. So Neurodiversity University. Hello, brains. We have this available in shirts, in jackets. Yeah, you can go get that at our merch store. Harley, can you drop a link to our merch store if anybody's interested? Yay, this helped me work on shift while coding. Yay. That's awesome. Yeah, if you want to use me as a body double, by all means. That's great. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Harley. Thank you, Marauder. Disappointing affirmations is live on Instagram. Amazing. All right, let me go to some questions. Question. Do you have ADHD-friendly tips for having less screen time? I do. So first of all, screen time is like saying, do you have any tips for eating food? There's a diet, like a food diet, like what do you eat on a daily basis? And then there's screen time is like a digital diet, like what do you consume on a daily basis? So rather than treating it like it's all the same, be aware of what you're consuming. So there's screen time that is like the little games, and I totally am guilty. Like I play one called Family Island that is one of those like you tap, and it gives you that like instant dopamine. Something like that is like the junk food of screen time. Something like writing an essay is still technically screen time. You're still sitting at a computer, but you're not getting those like instant dopamine hits. It's not that like low quality dopamine where you didn't really earn it. You just tapped on a screen. It's like you have to think through ideas and you have to put your own words on the page. And that is going to be a very different experience. Ms. Rachel for a toddler is very different from, I don't know what the opposite would be, but basically what is it that you're doing on the screens matters, right? So like digital diet matters more than total screen time. What you're doing with your screens is going to matter more. So that's first of all. Second of all, I'm thinking about screen time a lot lately because I have a toddler and I want to raise her in an environment where screens exist, but have a healthy relationship with them. So I've been paying attention to the literature, paying attention to the research, and like what is actually important. And what's important for kids is what is that screen replacing? So if you're using screen time because like you need to focus on something for half an hour and you wouldn't be able to pay attention to your kid anyway, like giving them a screen is not going to deprive them of what they would otherwise get to experience, which is connection with you, getting to go outside, getting to go play in the dirt or whatever. And I think the same thing is true as adults. Like, what is the screen replacing? If you are fried and you wouldn't be able to do anything else anyway, plopping on the couch and watching Netflix is not a problem. But if you're watching Netflix all day instead of going to work, instead of going out with friends, instead of doing other things that you would be doing otherwise, then it can become a problem, right? And like I did get to that point in high school where I was playing The Sims. I was really, really into The Sims. I definitely had problematic usage to the point where like my friend came over to hang out with me and I literally couldn't pull myself away. I kept playing The Sims, and the only thing that got me to actually get up and leave was her promising me that we could go to the store and get the next version of The Sims. It was bad, right? And at that point, it's problematic usage. And so at that point, I would say like external interventions are probably needed. Like if you are not able to stop on your own, like if you're playing when you want to be doing something else or you should be doing something else, then at that point, if you're not able to break yourself away, you need things to help you break yourself away. I had my friend saying, "Hey, let's get up and go," but there are other ways to do it. I actually have that in the next video. I don't know if it's the next one that comes out, but I shot a video about how to break out of hyperfocus, which is part of the problem, right? Like we're on our screens, but like if we get locked in and we're in hyperfocus, now we've been on our screens for 6 hours and maybe we missed dinner. Maybe we should have gone to bed. So I have a whole video about how to stop, but with like how to stop based on like why we're struggling to stop. And one of the things is like we're getting what we need out of it. We're getting entertainment, we're getting stimulation, and again, those dopamine hits, right? And so if that's the case, having ways to help you stop. So there's apps that are like app blockers. There's like a really hardcore way of doing it is setting a lamp timer, like plugging your game system into a lamp timer where it shuts off at a certain time. So like if you're not done, if you haven't like wrapped up on your own and saved, like you're gonna lose progress. So it helps encourage you. Or letting people know. Some sort of external accountability or external support is often needed for those of us with ADHD. Yeah, I hope that helped. Sims, oh yeah. Be careful, that can destroy your save/console. Yeah, I've never done that one, but it is something I've heard that people do. There's an app called Opal for your phone where you can set. It's really pretty. Like you get gems for staying off your screens or not using the apps that you don't want to use or whatever. It's called Opal. It's not free, but like it is very effective in terms of like deciding what you want to do when. Like you can set it so that you can't access work apps at night because you're not supposed to be working, and you can't access gaming apps during the day because you're supposed to be at work. And you technically can do it, but you have to jump through some hoops, so you can't do it automatically. I hope that was helpful. Cool. All right. Wow, that was, man, we're all going to get so much better at time management. Cute creature break. This is going to be fun. All right. Cute creatures. So Kai has been looking up some pictures of cute creatures, and we're just going to look at some cute creatures for a bit. Oh gosh, if you work in gaming. Oh boy. Oh yeah, Hank Green put out a free Focus Friend app. I haven't tried it yet either, but thank you. I think I downloaded it. I haven't tried it yet. Such a good idea. Is it like Finch, but for focus? I have to update it. ADHD-friendly focus timer. That's cool. Screens in. Yeah. I'd love to see the 3rd and 4th trimesters from the pregnancy and ADHD series. Yeah, I need to do that. Hey, Dusty, if you're still here, we need to schedule that. I had such a hard time postpartum that I was like, okay, I need some space before I'm ready to talk about this, but I can talk about it now. All right. Are we ready for friends? Cute. Yeah, let's do some cute creatures. Oh my God. It's so cute. What is it? Is it a tiny fox? Or a chihuahua? I can't tell. Does anybody know what this creature is? Fennec? Fennec. Okay. All right, do we have another cute creature? We'll do 5 minutes of cute creatures. Fennec fox. Oh my. Why is that so cute? Let's just keep the cute creatures up and just go one cute creature to the next. I can't compete with these. I can't compete with these cute creatures. Aww. Baby. Penguin. Try Dormouse Phallinger. This is really cute. Oh my gosh, it's an otter. Right? That's an otter? This is where we learn if I know my creatures. An otter. Why does it look like nobody's fed it in a really long time?
It is hard to find not AI cute.
No, really?
Cute pictures in some way.
Aww.
I'm trying to find ones that aren't.
Yeah. Owls? Are there any cute owls? It just wants to go back to otter space. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that's something that I need. Next time we'll set up a stream deck so that I can switch the cam to my sarcasm cam if I want. Aw, thank you for the great vibe. Yeah, this is a great community, right? Like I really love this community. I'm behind, the chat is spoiling it. Oh no. Oh my gosh, ducks. I raised ducks once for a project. They're so cute. And cat. Oh, of course, we need a cute cat. Okay, don't look up fun facts about otters. Okay, good to know. Sweet monkey. My daughter can say monkey now, but she says mumpy, mumpy, mumpy. I got to take her to the San Diego Zoo. That was amazing. Yep. Our producer Kai in the background. What are you ottering about? Ooh, Heather plays Family Island, right? Okay, but did you play Family Island before the really big update? Talking about change. It was the one thing in my life that was stable was my island, and I knew exactly what my island was going to be up to and what I was going to come back to and how it worked. And then one day, just everything changed, and I got so mad. I'm getting used to it, but I did like it the way that it was before. Hello. What's the current topic on offer? This is the current topic is cute animals. What? Ah, the kitty. I feel like that picture confuses me because the cat looks real mad, but also very festive. But like mad that somebody's making it be festive. Oh, sounds like P are easier to pronounce and are also produced first by babies, which is why. Mumpy. Mumpy. Okay, proud mama moment. My daughter knows her colors already. She's 18 months old. And I'll be like, what color is this? She goes, yellow. Boo. Orange. Munchkin cat. You'll get a kick out of their low rider nature. Owls. Have we found owls yet? Oh, okay. T and K sounds are some of the hardest. My kid couldn't get them straight until like K or first grade. Okay, that's good to know. Ooh, take viewers cute animal pics for future streams. I like that idea. Quokkas? Quokkas. Smiley creatures from Australia. Cute. All right, can we get it just in time? It's almost done. Owl. Quokkas. All right, I'm going to Google quokkas. 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 Oh my gosh. They are smiley. Quokkas are super cute. Okay. Cool. Oh no. Axolotls. All right. That's the end of that segment. All right. I'm going to answer a few more questions and take. Oh, yeah. Actually, no. I'm going to erase the cute creature break. We're done. We're done with the cute creatures. Unless you have an owl for us. Lots of AI owls. All right. We're going to work on the cute creatures for next time. The AI-free cute creatures. Okay. All right. The last one is going to be the doing nothing / meditation segment. But I realized I don't know if I am allowed to play. Like, will I get demonetized if I play a song? I guess let's find out.
Royalty free.
I mean, they want me to promote it, but it's not royalty free. I don't know. It's ADHD support songs and awareness. They want me to promote it. I don't know. Should I? Actually, you know what? Probably to be safe, we'll drop the Nothing Rhymes with Orange if people want to check it out again. But maybe to be safe, do you know, Kai? Do you know those like breathing things, like the meditative, where you just like see the thing on the screen and it opens and closes? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
If you can find one of those.
I'm gonna have to grab a laptop.
Okay.
Plug it in.
We might make that work. We're gonna do 10 minutes and then the doing nothing meditations. Don't risk it. Okay. Yeah, YouTube is pretty weird. Ambient sounds. All right, we'll see what Kai can come up with in the next 10 minutes. Some sort of breathing thing and some ambient sounds. You can play 30 seconds of the royalties. Okay, we're not going to do that. Oh yeah, the clock. The clock is a time timer. These things are great. So you can see how much longer we have for a segment. And it goes off. How do I get into the Discord? Marauder or Harley, would you be able to help with that? Okay. All right, I'm going to answer more questions that the mods pulled over. I feel like I constantly want to do more than I'm able and find myself frequently frustrated because of that. Any advice? Gosh, yes. This is such a common ADHD experience. Okay, so I once got super frustrated with myself because I wasn't, I was having a hard time accomplishing all the things that I wanted to accomplish. And I was like, man, like my friend, everything that he says he's going to do, he does. He sets out to do it and he does it. And like, I was blaming it on like, I'm ADHD and he's neurotypical. Clearly, like he finishes all his projects. Like meanwhile, I've got all these half finished things. And I was like, he does everything he sets out to do. And my boyfriend at the time was like, okay, but how many things is he setting out to do? How many things is he trying to do versus how many things are you trying to do? And I was like, fair point. And not one I had ever really thought about. Like sometimes our failures are just because of how many things we're attempting at the same time. So there's a really common saying in the ADHD community, which is if you want to do more, do less. And so as much as I can, I try to monotask now. I can have lots of projects, but I just can't be trying to do all of them at the same time. We can do all the things, just not at the same time. So I try to prioritize now. And there's something that I just learned about, like as a parent. There's a book called How to Talk So Little Kids Will Listen and Listen So Little Kids Will Talk. And I learned one of the tools for when toddlers, which my brain sometimes feels like a toddler, are like, ooh, I want this. Ooh, I want this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Sometimes instead of doing the things, you can do something called wish fulfillment, which is like, wow, yeah, it would be really cool if we could do that, right? And you talk through like how cool it would be to be able to do the thing. and let the kid or yourself imagine how cool it would be to be able to do this thing. And then you get back to what you're doing, right? Like, I want to go to the park. Yeah, you really want to go to the park right now. That sounds really fun, right? What would you do if we went to the park? Oh, you'd go down the slides. Cool. Like, what else? What about the swings? Would you go on the swings? Yeah, I'd go on the swings. You don't have to go to the park. You just tell them, like, yeah, wouldn't it be cool if, right? And so I just learned that last week. And so I'm trying to see if it works for my own brain. Like, oh, I really want to do this project. Yeah, man, it would be really cool to do that project, right? Like, what if you could? And you can even write it down. Like, you can have a wish fulfillment list, just like you have a wish list on, I don't know, Amazon or whatever. Like, I'm not going to buy this right now, but I'm going to put it on my wish list. You can do that with projects too. Like, I'm not going to do this right now, but it's on my wish list. And if you write it down, it makes it feel more real. And then if you have the bandwidth to take on another project, you can go look at your wish list and be like, does that sound good? I still, caveat, am doing too many things for sure, but part of that's time blindness. Part of that's I don't realize how long the things that I'm trying to do are going to take. So having some like grace with yourself and forgiveness around it is good too. Oh, sorry, boss, I gotta do less. Okay, so here's the trick. Oh, say if it's your boss, right? If it's your boss, one of the tricks that I learned for that, and I love this trick so much, is you bring to them, hey, these are the things I'm working on. These are the projects. And this is me speaking as a boss. I often don't realize how much I've assigned to somebody that's working for me. So them coming to me and being like, okay, this is what's on my plate right now. You just added something else to my plate. Which of these other things would you like me to drop so that I can focus on that? If you go to your boss and show them, like, this is what's on my plate, this is what's on my agenda, you choose like which of these is more important, like help me prioritize so that I can do a good job for you. That's such a good thing, because like I encourage, and maybe not every boss is going to be cool with it. If not, like, if you can get a different job, get a different job. And I don't mean to be like cavalier about that, but a lot of the time we try and make jobs work for us that really are not a good fit. So if they're not going to be willing to work with you, if they're not going to support you in prioritizing when that's something we literally need support with, it could be a bad fit. But if they are willing to do it, I like seriously try it. Be like, hey, this is everything I've got on my plate this week. This just came in, like, which of these is more important? Or even if you've got like a really good boss that you can talk to that's understanding, going and saying, hey, like, I'm behind on this. I know this was supposed to be done already. I'm still working on it. And there's this other project, like, help me figure out how to do this. Like, do you know, and give them options too. Options can help everybody. Like, do you want me to do a, like a rush job on this so that I can then have time to focus on this? Do you want me to put this on hold so I can do this? Like, what do you want? Because I want to do a good job for you. Having that dialogue can be really helpful. Don't feel like just because somebody assigned it to you, you have to do it. If somebody assigned it to you and you have too many things on your plate, speak up about it if you can, if it's safe to do so. Yeah, communication is key. Let's see, what else do we have? I've loved your relationship-focused vids. Any thoughts on broaching the cognitive/communication differences between ND and neurotypical people? I can thoroughly map, but getting the topic started. Oh, that's a really interesting thing. Maybe. It's a little tricky because it's hard to say, like, this is how all neurotypical people communicate, or this is how all neurodivergent people communicate. But that's something that would be really interesting to maybe do in collaboration with Caroline McGuire, who wrote Why Will No One Play With Me? And she's currently writing a book about how to make friends as a neurodivergent human. And so I'm sure she's got thoughts on those communication differences. And we've had a lot of conversations about it too. One of the more interesting things about communication differences is like what's considered rude. And I have an autistic friend who said what's considered rude in a neurotypical conversation is if you keep the focus on yourself for too long. So like, let's say you're talking about, I don't know, your daughter's wedding or whatever, and you're talking about that for a while. It would be rude if you then didn't switch to like, oh, but what's going on in your life, right? But with autism, she explained to me, tell me if you're autistic, if this resonates with you. She's like, it's rude if you don't switch topics. So like you could be like, oh yeah, my daughter's wedding, and they could be like, oh yeah, weddings, or they like you're both talking about weddings. You're talking about your daughter's wedding, they're talking about their kid's wedding, but you're still talking about weddings, and that's perfectly fine. But it's rude if you don't switch topics to, like, let's say your special interest is weddings and theirs is trains. If you don't switch to trains at some point, then that's what's rude. I feel like I butchered that a little bit, but basically the topic is like the subject that you're talking about, weddings, versus with neurotypicals, it's like the subject is you, right? Like, this is what's going on in my life, what's going on in your life. With the other one, it's like, let's both talk about our experiences with weddings, and now let's both talk about our experiences with trains, and that's what's more appropriate in an autistic conversation, which is interesting. Yeah, back and forth talking about related experiences or topics is very typical. Yeah, definitely feel it. That's cool. Yeah, yeah. Wedding on train. See, there you go. Okay, so J2, who's our ADHD director of ops, has a really funny joke. I'll tell. She's like, yeah, if you're autistic and trying to make friends, like, really, you should just be like, here are my special interests. What are your special interests? And if two autistic people like do not have special interests in common, it's like, nice to meet you. Moving on. Like, we cannot be friends because we will have nothing to talk about that we both enjoy talking about. Ooh, what do you struggle with the most? It's been a while since I've last watched you. Oh man. What do I struggle with the most? Currently, I would say what I'm struggling with the most is the identity shift. I feel like I went from being a peer, somebody with ADHD who was struggling and learning from the community, and the community was learning from me, and like I was learning tools, the community was learning tools, and it was just all like none of us had any idea what we were doing. To at some point, like, I published a book and it was New York Times bestseller, and now I'm this ADHD expert that's supposed to have all the answers. And so like that kind of happened at the same time as I'm getting older. Like, I'm not the girl next door anymore. I'm in my 40s now. And so, like, that's a big shift. And then I also had a baby. So kind of all of these transitions are happening at once for me. And it's making me a little bit confused about who I am. Like, even down to what I wear. Like, I have meltdowns about what to wear in the morning. And maybe I just wear merch because, like, it really is stressful for me. Because I'm like, I feel like I want to move beyond just T-shirts. But, like, but blouses doesn't feel like me. I don't know, like the identity shift of, and then I'm a working mom, but like even that, like trying to figure out like what does a mom do? Because the only experience that I had with young children was volunteering in my mom's classroom. She was a special education teacher and taught kids how to speak, preschool and kindergartners. And so I feel like I go home and I'm not a mom. I feel like I start my second job as a preschool teacher. So just figuring out who I am right now, like the identity stuff is really tough. Legacy, I know who you are. You're Jessica. Thank you. All right. So that's our do nothing meditation segment, which is welcome right now because I am very, I could use some emotion regulation right now. Like, that was emotional for me to talk about that. Cool. So, thank you for the compliments. The videos are engaging. Okay, cool. So we're gonna do our do nothing meditation segment if Kaya is ready.
I don't know exactly which kind. I have a couple.
Oh, I'm gonna go look. Cut to our correspondent. Wait, no, hang on. We have a meditation expert in the studio, right? The chair cam. Let's ask our meditation expert. Or it can be the Chloe cam. That's fine too. People just showing up to the stream are so confused. All right. So can they hear that? Great. It's weird. Can they hear me too? Oh, sorry guys. All right, we're trying the doing nothing / meditation segment. So we're just gonna watch this for a minute. I have no idea if this is good. For next live stream, I will vet these, but we're just gonna try it. This is a test live stream. We're gonna try it and see what we think. All right. Okay, let's do it. Let's do nothing and just watch this meditation video. Okay, people are scared by this. Okay, we're gonna stop this. We're gonna vet some stuff is what's gonna happen. I'd prefer some nature ambiance. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little freaky, literally terrifying. Okay, so that was a fail. You know what? That's why we're testing things. That one was a fail. Okay. So you know what? Okay. I'm gonna walk us through some meditations then, or some breathing exercises. So there's box breathing, which you can do by looking at a window, imagining a box in your mind. But basically, you're gonna breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. So let's try some box breathing. We'll do in, hold, out, hold. If we can find some nature music, that would be great. In, out, hold. So that's one, is box breathing. And you can trace a window with your eyes or whatever. This is better? Okay, cool. So rain sound suggestion. Okay. Another one is star breathing. So this is kind of fun. So you basically trace your fingers and you breathe in and out and in and out. So that's star breathing. Let's see what else. There's a book called Alpha Breaths that has all kinds of different ones, but you can, let's see, you can breathe in, and then when you breathe out, pretend you're holding like a cup of hot cocoa and you're blowing so that the marshmallows just gently move, but you don't like blow any of them out of the thing. So you go. And then I guess the last breathing exercise I will teach you is if you want to calm your body down, you breathe in for less time than you breathe out. So you might breathe in for 4, but breathe out for 7. So if you slow your out breath down, that will slow your body down, calm your body down. But if you want to energize yourself, somebody told me this. I have no research on this, but somebody told me this and it works for me. If you breathe in for longer than you breathe out, so like let's say you breathe in for 7 seconds and then out for 4 seconds, and you do that a few times, that apparently brings energy into your body. So we're gonna try it. Let's see if it works. We'll breathe in for 7 and out for 4. So out, in, out, in. Wow, that's working. Hey, it worked. It worked. I'm curious if everybody else likes it. 7, 4, 8 breathing. Remember the hand technique, the fingers? Okay. Cool. All right. So that's our live stream. Anybody who came in right at the end is probably very confused. But yeah, that was really fun. We did all 8 segments. We're gonna or 8. We did 6. We did all 6 segments. I'm gonna go ahead and erase the last segment here. And I will let everybody get on with their day, hopefully a little bit more energized. Thank you so much for coming to this live stream. Hopefully we'll do one once a month. Leave comments on this stream. If you think of them later, I will still come back later and read ideas as to like what would make the live stream better for next time. And those of you who did super chat or whatever, like donated money during this live stream, we're going to use some of that money to buy some stuff to make the live stream better next time. So thank you so much for coming. And yeah, thank you all for coming. This is awesome. Bye, brains.